Today's walk is going to be with Shane Spencer. He was a key part of the Yankees' champion dynasty of the 90s. When Darryl Strawberry was diagnosed with cancer, he came through and had a monster division series against the Texas Rangers in 1998. Later, he played for the Mets and also played in Japan. Let's see what Shane's up to these days.
Frank Walls, it's time for Frank Walls.
All right, I'm here with Shane Spencer. Of course, his biggest moment in baseball came in the 1998 postseason, where you had a really good end of the season. You went on a tear, and it carried over into the postseason. And the Yankees got the news that Darryl Strawberry had cancer, and you stepped up against the Texas Rangers. What was that moment like?
Well, I always felt I was pretty fortunate because when I got called up 4 times that year, the last time I got called up, the Yankees had such a big lead, I actually got to have some more playing time because you're not going to be a DH on that team. You have Darryl Strawberry, Chili Davis, Tim Raines, and you're not playing right field with O'Neill. You're not playing center with Bernie. So you have 4 guys trying to share left field. And so if you weren't hot, you weren't getting any playing time. So it was pretty cool. So I got hot at the end and made the playoff roster. And, you know, obviously the unfortunate news with Darryl, because such a great guy, it opened up the door for more like Tim Raines being the DH and then me getting the chance to play left field.
Now, that playoff run, the only real challenge you had was to be playing against the Indians. You had the down 2-1.
Yep.
But you were just telling me before I started recording that you grew up a Padre fan.
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
So that year, it was the Yankees against the Padres.
So I pretty much peaked my first year. You made it to the big leagues, made it to the playoffs, go to the World Series against my Padres and against Tony Gwynn, who was my idol growing up. So people ask me, what's your best highlight ever? Was in a home run at Yankee Stadium or in a playoff. Tony Gwynn actually lined out to me for the second out in the first inning in San Diego. And all I wanted to do was put it in my back pocket. You know, that was I'm like, this is it. This is my highlight of my, what do we do after this? And it pretty much showed because I stunk the next year. So, but you did it all right then. So, you know, beating the Padres, of course I wanted to win, but all my friends are diehard Padre fans and they're pretty much ragging on me the night before. And like, oh, you got lucky on the Tino Martinez home run. Well, he did. It was probably a pretty good pitch. But, you know, we were kind of destined that year. So it was a great, fun year.
I think that the Yankees overmatched the Padres that year. I don't see how even if the Padres pull off game 1, I don't see how that series goes.
We were just much deeper in pitching. Our pitching was much deeper. So 1 through 5 with our starters. And at obviously you got Mariano and they had Hoffman. But we were just so deep and pretty much everywhere that year. So it was a lot of fun. Bittersweet for me because the Padres, the Chargers, they've never won anything. So it was pretty hard. But I did go to the only game the Padres ever won, which was in 1984. So I got to witness that. Kurt Bavacqua, who I played golf with in San Diego. He's a great dude. Terry Kennedy, get to watch him hit a double or triple and end up coaching with him with the Padres. So, you know, some good moments there.
One of my favorite moments, of course, that was the year the umpire, the pitcher moved and got the umpire in the groin in game 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, that's like one of my favorite, it just sticks out to me.
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of little memories and stuff. I remember just in that Yankee game in the Padres, you go out there to stretch and the Padres are having BP, so we're stretching right by the dugout and I hear my name called. And you hear your name called, but it's San Diego. And I recognize the voice. It ended up being one of my longest living friends that I have. I'm still great friends with him, Tim Heredia, and he was the first person I saw, so I went up there and gave him a big hug.
Well, that Tiger Padre World Series, I remember the video that came out after the World Series.
Yep.
Is Sparky Anderson going over to Goose Goss and they don't want to walk you. They don't want to walk you. And then Kirk Gibson hits the home run.
Oh my God, yeah, they killed us. We had one good game. Jack Morris was awesome for them. Of course, Trammell's from San Diego, so it kind of followed him a little bit too. Darryl Evans ended up being my hitting coach in Double-A. So I got some good ties with that Tigers team, which unfortunately beats my Padres. So that's tough.
Now, you also tell me that you were a Charger fan, Charger season ticket holder.
Yes.
To me, they should have never moved.
Yes.
I miss that old song too. That
San Diego Superchargers. Yeah. Oh yeah. They don't say the San Diego part anymore, but
yeah.
it's not the same. I mean, I still root for the Chargers. My kids are Charger fans still, Padres. So it's bittersweet, but I don't quite follow them as much. And the season ticket holders, we never even got a chance to vote on it. So they just stepped it in the city, and we had to have a certain amount of votes. And
see, man, I don't understand why
money, baby, money.
I mean, Los Angeles isn't really a football town.
Well, you have the Rams there now, and you have the Chargers there, and nobody wants either one of them there. They want the Raiders. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
They want the Raiders. So,
I mean, now, before you made your debut with the Yankees, you were part of that replacement spring.
Yes.
What was that like?
So, I got a call before Christmas from the Yankees asking me, hey, they don't think they're going to start the season. Would you go over here and play? I said, absolutely not. Now, I didn't have an agent at the time because I wasn't like a top prospect or anything. So it comes right before spring training. They call again, hey, we really want you to go over there. Maybe Buck Showalter can see your bats. I don't even know who Buck Showalter was at the time. So they said no. Then I go to spring training. Maybe the first week of spring training, they asked me again. I said, absolutely not. And then I got to like the last 4 days, and they pretty much told me that if I don't go over there, they're releasing me.
I mean,
so I really didn't have a choice.
I think the guys like you really got like put in like the middle. Who is it?
It was really difficult.
I mean, not many of those replacement players actually later.
So then
played in the
now you take it to when I'm up there with the Yankees years later, and I'm on the plane, and I got Jeff Nelson, David Cohn, Chili Davis, all the reps. And they pull me to the back of the plane, and they're like grilling me on why I would do something like that. So I'm almost in tears because I'm getting ridiculed by my teammates. They weren't being mean or anything, but I didn't really have a choice, and it was a difficult time. To this day, I don't get any royalties, so but you won't see my name on MLB.
You were not on the 1998 championship shirt. I remember them talking about that.
Yep.
Same thing with Rick Reed on the Mets.
Yes.
He had that same difficulty. I remember in 1995, and later a teammate of yours, John Franco.
Oh yeah, I love me some Johnny Franco.
No, I remember
he's a peach.
I remember during the whole incident during the replacement spring, John Franco basically said that if this is other walks of life, some of them might find themselves with their broken legs and stuff
right?
like that.
I know.
He made like a really bad statement. Like you got some hot water for that one.
Well, even like when I changed teams, say the Mets, and you're talking to Tom Glavine and Leiter, you're talking to these guys, Piazza, and they want to know. They want to know why. They want to know why you did something like that. And so I explain it to them, and next thing you know, we're still all friends and stuff. But it's something that's asked all the time. I tried to, actually, when I tried to get back into the union, I told them, I said, we need to start up like a rookie seminars and stuff that help players, like in my situation.
Yeah, I mean, you guys.
Obviously, they probably do stuff like that now, but they didn't at the time, and I wasn't represented by an agent. So, I mean, the consequences what? They told me, hey, it worked out because they said, hey, you're going to play every day, but you're going to be playing A-ball. And I said, wait a minute, I get to play every day? They said, yeah, but if you don't do good, you're going to get released. And so I played every day, ended up getting MVP of the league, and the rest was history. Obviously, not getting the royalties is a lot of money, but I made it to the big leagues and got to play with some great teams, great players.
There's only about maybe a dozen or so. I know Brian Dahlbach was another one.
Yeah, Kevin Millar. I believe Kevin Millar too. Dahlbach. Those are all guys that I came up with too at the same time.
It really was like the mid-level prospect who was put in that position. I mean, if you say no, your career could be ended.
Well, when I went to the meeting with the player union, They told me, like, did you just want to play with Buck Showalter? I said, I didn't even know who Buck Showalter was, okay? I'm an A-ball. I don't know anything. I'm not even thinking about big leagues. I'm thinking maybe I can make it a double-A or something. So it was tough, and I still have to answer those questions. But, you know, you just try not to be embarrassed about it, and you just speak the honest truth about it and move on.
Now, you mentioned that your best year was your first year.
Yes.
And then you played a little bit with Cleveland and Texas and ended up on the Mets.
Yep.
Best not talk about that season.
That season, yeah. It was, I loved it. I actually really enjoyed playing there. We had a lot of injuries. I mean, I ended up playing center field. I've never played center field since high school, so I'm playing center field at Shea Stadium, looking back like, oh my God, this place is big. It's huge. So there was a lot of stuff going on. I got hurt. Then while I was hurt rehabbing, I got in trouble and, ended up getting released. And so, now that I'm into coaching and stuff like that and coached all over the place, it's a good conversation with the young players, like, hey, what not to do, especially off the field. So it's helped me in that part. Obviously not into my career, but it's helped me at least, get in touch with the younger kids.
Now, after your season at Mets, you played in Japan.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
It was awesome. I sucked, but it was awesome. I was coming off, I hurt my shoulder with the Mets, ended up having surgery in October. And they asked me to go over there. I said, that'd be great. I got to pass the physical. Well, I don't know how I passed it, but I did. So I didn't do very good the first year until the end of the year. And then we won the championship over there. Hanshin Tigers, great place. There's like 55,000 people every night. It's like playing at Yankee Stadium. And I really enjoyed it. I would have loved to stay over there.
I always like the buzz of the crowd from Japan. I've always liked that. And one day maybe I'll get out to Japan.
Oh, it's awesome. It really is.
That.
They take it so seriously, and they don't leave until the game's over. I got to play against some good players over there that came over here and played. And then right now I got two of the Korean players that I had are over here now, Ha-Sung Kim and Jung-Hoo Lee, that's with the Giants, who killed the Yankees. So those are two of my players over in Korea. So it's good to see them come over here and be successful. So I've had some good experiences, that's
now,
for sure.
You've mentioned that you're in coaching and you coached in Korea.
Yep.
What's going on with that right now, with your coaching career?
Oh, now I'm up in Connecticut. I do high school kids. Me and my buddy Brian Looney, he pitched a little bit in the big leagues. He's got a baseball facility, so he does a really good job of getting these kids into colleges. That's his main focus, trying to get them there. I do like the hitting, outfield, base running, stuff like that. And then I'll have one of the teams when they get out of school, and I'll have them during the summer.
Now, I hear that you're trying to build the baseball program for Ireland.
Well, they're going back and forth with that. I mean, we're trying to even touch base with like Sean Casey and try to make it happen. The one thing with Ireland, they're making it kind of difficult for the players here that are Irish players, because they got to have an active dependent from Ireland. So like their grandma has to be living over there, their visa. So Italy doesn't do it. Some of these other teams don't do it.
I know Mike Piazza's done a great job.
Yeah, so they don't have that. Their country doesn't make them do that. So the limited access. So I've coached the team a couple times, like some of the players that might go over there. But if you took all the big league players, they could put a good team together. But they unfortunately don't get to do that. So
that's a shame, because there's always a lot of good. It's not about the players playing over there. It's about building the sports program over there.
Absolutely.
And growing the game.
Yeah, and I would love to get over there and do baseball in the morning and to go play some golf and lose about 100 balls, because...
Yes, I know that they've had Ron Blomberg and Art Shamsky have built a program in Israel. We got Piazza, as I mentioned.
Yep.
I think England's now trying to build a program.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Ireland won't help.
They're very strict on their visa part, and it's been holding them back for a little while. So we'll see. Maybe down the road we'll make it happen. But I know that Sean Casey was also interested in something to do with it. So that would have been great if we could have connected and made something happen. But they are really strict on how they do it.
Well, let's hope you get that moving a little bit.
Yeah.
And continued success with your coaching and good work. I remember that '98 season, You got on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yes, that's right. And I got the Sports Illustrated jinx. No, I had some. I mean, I was very fortunate to play on some really good teams with some great, not only players but great people. You know, I grew up with Mariano. We got drafted the same year with Carl Leverett that year, Mike Figa, and then then here comes Pettit Posada the next year, and then Jeter. So we all obviously they jumped me real quick. But
during the years that it
was good
George
years.
was.
I love George. George was awesome.
Yeah, he was.
He was strict on the front office and coaching staffs, but he treated the players. We always had stuff.
He needed to chill out for a while.
Well, I can tell you the worst thing about him. The only thing is, like, if you strike out in Boston and he's there, he's sitting right by the dugout. He's just sitting there like, what an idiot, you suck. And you got to accept it because it's a long walk from that.
I tell you what, if I was known, I'd probably be like George Steinbrenner. I could be a little impatient sometimes.
He was super generous. I mean, love the guy. I have no regrets about getting drafted by the Yankees. Even though I didn't want to play for the Yankees, it ended up working out like really, really good.
Well, thanks for joining us, and
I appreciate
really good luck in the future, and keep on going.
All right, thanks.